Hey, what's going on, miners? Today we're going to be building the EPYC, so let's get right into it. All right, boys, here it is. Here's the EPYC. Now, I do not have the actual tool. I've gotten some instructions from Mr. Hugo Downs, who has experience with these. I don't have any, so we're going to give this a go, and hopefully I don't bend the pins, right? Right, sports fans? So, we're not using the Linus screwdriver. We're going to be using the iFixit screwdriver. And I have the bit in here for the EPYC. So, dun, 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 dun. Let's get this bad mamma jamba in here. So the first thing we got to do is we need to loosen the screws. So this way the bracket. Now, they do make a tool for this, but it doesn't come stock. It only came with the thread rippers, I believe. So that's just keep that in mind. After you undo the latch, you're then going to come back and lift up on these two little posts right here, and they're just gonna pop up. Okay, and then there's these little grooves right here, right? I'll try and zoom in here. There's some grooves right here. This is where you're gonna slide the EPYC in, okay? So let's go ahead, let me get this back down, get the camera over here, okay? So we have the arm up. We're going to take our EPYC and we're going to slide it in to its home. Now, the way that you know it's right is you see this hole right here? This needs to line up with the screw, obviously, otherwise you're putting it into the CPU, which wouldn't be good. Now it's seated down, right? Everything is down. Everything is all good, right? All good in the hood. Okay. Now there is a specific pattern you need to tighten this down. It does come in the instructions for this, right? And it says you want to tighten it with 1, 2, and 3. Which is probably really hard to see right here, but 1 being on the top, obviously, and then 2 is going to be this one right here. So I'm going to turn the board so this way I do it in the correct order. All right. So according to this, and I'm just going to give it a little bit, right? I don't want to do too much. Okay. And then 2 is this one right here, and it even has numbers on here too. 1, 2, 3. And so I'm gonna just how it's going to work. And I wonder why they didn't have stoppers like they did with the AM4 sockets. I don't know why they didn't do that. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. An issue we did run into though is there's no thermal paste inside of this Noctua kit. So I need to get some thermal paste. So, okay. So, man, that is a lot of thermal paste. So, we now need to get our cooler. Now, the cooler does go one particular way, because this is more narrow on one side than the other. You could see it right here. The more narrow side is going to be closest to these fins. So, now we are going to have to adjust this a little bit maybe. Yes, I do believe that it's going to fit just right. Okay, and what I like to do is when I'm doing stuff like this, I want to come across to the opposite side because I want to create that cross tension, right? I want to make sure that this is actually going to be even. You know what I'm saying? So we need to do a cross pattern here. We have successfully installed the cooler. Let's go. Now let's go ahead and let's attach the CPU cooler itself here. It doesn't really matter, I mean, in this situation, because we don't have a case. So honestly, being a push pull, honestly doesn't matter. If you were in a case and there was particular airflow, you would want to obviously maximize said airflow, but we don't have to do that here because, you know, we don't have a case. So yeah, there you go. We're all lined up right there. We're all hooked in. Now we need to find the CPU header here, which I am not familiar with this motherboard. This is fan 1, so I am just gonna guess that that is what it's gonna be, right? I do not see a header marked CPU header. I will obviously check the website on the motherboard to make sure that that is plugged into the right port, but if it doesn't matter, then it doesn't matter. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and let me clean up a little bit and let me get the memory going here. All right, we got our two 16 gigabyte sticks of RAM right here. These are DDR4 2133, so not anything crazy. These are just out of the server that's right next to me. And we're gonna put this in just like this and like this. That way we're using both channels of memory here. So and there we go. We have our essentially our EPYC CPU all installed now, right? So I'm gonna flash this, and I'm gonna put an operating system on here, and then yeah, we'll have to take it for a test ride. All right, sports fans, we are in the BIOS. What? 32 cores, 64 threads. Let's go. Let's go. 64 megs of L3 cache. Let's do it. All right, man. Well, so I know it's a freaking mess back here, but this is just temporary, just to get this thing up and going. So stay tuned, because I may have put a different operating system on this. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. All right, this is the Mining King giving you the most hashes, and I'll see you next time.